In a cozy, sunlit corner of a humble home, a world of love bloomed. Here lived Eamon with her 3 daughters, the very air she breathed. Nah, at 13, was a sensible flower, already glowing with the light of responsibility. 7-year-old Rima was a cheerful butterfly, flitting about with infectious energy, and little Eliza, just 3, was the innocent giggle that echoed through their small house. Life had dealt them a harsh blow early on. The loss of their father left Eamon to carry the weight of the world on her own. But surrender was a word she did not know. A gifted cook, Eamon turned her tiny kitchen into a beacon of hope. She prepared delicious meals, her hands moving with a rhythm of love and determination, selling them to provide for her girls. Her nights were a blur of tireless effort, a silent battle waged against life's storms to build a safe harbor for her daughters. Though she stood alone, her girls were her army, her fortress, her unyielding strength. Years flowed by like a river, and the girls blossomed, their spirits strong despite the thin soil of their circumstances. But just as a fragile peace settled, a cruel illness crept into Emmon's life. A chronic disease sapped her strength, weakening her day by day, until she was confined to her bed. A shadow of sadness fell over their home. The sweet laughter of Rima and Eliza turned to quiet sobs. As they huddled near their exhausted mother, their small hands clutching hers. Seeing her mother's pain and her little sister's tears, Nefelta shivered deep within her. She looked at her reflection in the mirror and saw not a child, but a pillar, a support. It was a heavy realization, but one she accepted with a courage far beyond her years. She knew what she had to do. She had to work. Her journey began in the chaotic heart of the city market, a world so different from the gentle quiet of her home. Her first job was at a small shop, cleaning and tidying for a meager wage that barely covered a fraction of her mother's medicine. Next, she found work with a vegetable vendor, but he was a man with a heart of stone, showing no mercy for her youth or her weariness. He would unjustly dock her pay for imagined slights, and she would return home each evening, her body aching, her spirit bruised. But the image of her mother's unwavering determination was the fuel that kept her going. She would not give up. Finally, a glimmer of hope. She found a position at a tailoring shop. The work was simple, threading needles, arranging bolts of colorful fabric, and delivering light orders. Here, for the first time, she felt a sense of safety, a small pocket of peace in her turbulent world. But that peace was short-lived. A new character entered her story, and her name was Mia. Mia had worked at the shop for years, her position secured by time and familiarity. But in her, she saw not a hard-working child, but a threat. Jealousy, a venomous weed, began to grow in her heart, twisting her thoughts and poisoning her intentions. She feared no would take her place, and this fear festered into a dark and malicious plan. One morning, the air in the shop was thick with unspoken tension. Mia put her wicked scheme into motion. With practiced stealth, she took a large sum of money from the owner's drawer and hid it away. When the owner discovered the missing cash, panic erupted. He searched every corner, his face growing more frantic by the second. Seizing her moment, Mia approached him, her face a mask of false sorrow. "Sir," she began, her voice trembling with brilliant acting, I hate to be the one to say this, but I saw her near the drawer a little while ago. She looked so troubled, and she quickly put something in her bag. I swear, I saw her." The owner, who had trusted Mia for years, looked at her, his eyes turning from concern to suspicion, then to disgust. He didn't give the bewildered girl a chance to speak, to defend herself. His trust in Mia was absolute, his anger immediate. He grabbed her small arm with a force that made her cry out. He dragged her through the shop, his voice booming with rage as he threw her out onto the street. "Get out, you thief! Don't you ever let me see your face here again." She fell to the dusty ground, the world spinning around her. Hot, bitter tears streamed down her face. She couldn't comprehend it. How could her kindness, her tireless work, be met with such cruel injustice? She walked home, each step heavier than the last, her young heart shattered into a million pieces. How could she tell her mother? How could she add this crushing weight to her mother's already heavy burden? She couldn't. She would bear this pain alone. Back at home, She sat by her mother's bedside, trying to hide the storm of tears raging behind her eyes. Just then, A firm but gentle knock echoed through their quiet home. Little Rima, her curiosity piqued, went to open the door. Standing on their doorstep was a man of dignified and elegant appearance. He looked down at the small girl and asked in a kind voice, "Is this N's house?" Rima nodded shyly. "Yes, it is. Could you call her for me, little one?" he requested gently. They came to the door, surprised and a little wary. Who was this stranger? How did he know her name? The man smiled, a warmth radiating from his eyes that seemed to melt some of the ice around her heart. "Hello, Na. How are you?" She was taken aback by his familiarity. I'm fine," she stammered, "but how do you know me?" The man's smile deepened. "I know you very well, my daughter. In fact, I was your father's trustee." In that instant, a flood of fragmented memories rushed back to Na. A faded image from a time long past, a kind face from her earliest childhood. Her eyes widened, tears welling up, but this time they were tears of shock and dawning joy. You are Uncle Levi," she whispered, her voice trembling. Levi nodded, his smile now full of warmth and affection. "Yes, my little one, it's me." A cry of pure, unadulterated joy escaped Na's lips. She turned and ran to her mother's room. Mom, look who's here. It's Uncle Levi." From her bed, Emma's face broke into a radiant smile, a smile that had been absent for so long. It felt as though a mountain had been lifted from her chest. Uncle Levi had come. He had honored the will of his deceased friend, a promise made years ago to be a second father to his daughters and a guardian for his family. From that day on, everything changed. Uncle Levi became their rock, their protector. He arranged for the best medical care for Eamon, and slowly she regained her health and strength. He ensured the girls' education was a priority, showering them with the fatherly tenderness they had missed for so long. Na, Rima, and Eliza were finally wrapped in a blanket of safety and love. Life had thrown its cruelest challenges at Na, but it had also shown her its greatest kindness. It proved to her that after every hardship there is ease, and that the pure light of honesty and goodness can never truly be extinguished. Thank you so much for joining us for this story. If it touched your heart, please consider liking this video and subscribing to our channel for more inspiring content. We'll see you next time.